culture of thrones set ablaze by the majority. Tired of complacency, ready for the anarchy, 'cause what's left to lose? Everything is lost. Time to turn to the new. Stand in your ground, hold it. Man-made earthquakes shake the foundation of centuries of colonies. Time for erasure of stains. Questions. Whys. What about us?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. This morning. Good. First of all, I want to thank God for everybody. Honestly, this morning should thank God for waking you up. Because if you're in Minneapolis, you should be thankful that you have no bullets in you, that you're alive, because there were some people last night that did not make it. And there's others that haven't been here for a while and that still need justice. So with that, you already know what this is. This is the Urban Conservative. I'm coming with you today because it's been a lot of heavy shit over the last couple days, and some shit that, I think needs to be talked about. It needs to be discussed, because at the end of the day, how are we supposed to get, and I always start off, I'm trying to do this. I'm not going to say my little intro this morning because this is a special episode, but my name is Chaz Neal, the Urban Conservative. I'm based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. We are being brought to you today by the Leon Block Independent Media. With me today and every day is John Tell Tolan out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
You already know, greetings and good vibes. Thank you for having me. Let's just get right into it.
Right. And also, I don't want John Tell just to be just a co-host today, because I really would like input on another side. And this quote is from Malcolm X. There can be no black-white unity until there is some black unity.
Yes.
Everybody talks about that unity, but we have to be unified together to fight this fight.
Sorry, hold on one second.
You're good. So that we can get this unity, this justice, this village, and live as one. And I want to say this is the first story that really not even so much going to talk about. I want to start off with something that is dear to me, and I want to tell this young king happy belated birthday. And I'm talking about Minneapolis will know, Minnesotans will know. This is part of the reason that Black Lives the Streets was born. And I'm talking about LaDavion Garrett Jr. Yesterday was his birthday. So if you're out there, please wish LaDavion a happy birthday. And there's a video, so I'm going to play the video.
lived 72 hours after being shot in North Minneapolis back in April of 2021. Now his family and friends are celebrating his 12th birthday. They came together tonight to mark this important and very special occasion. And Megan Reistad was there.
You all right? You all right? Huh? It's your birthday.
Shari Jennings is taking every opportunity to celebrate her grandson, LaDavion Garrett Jr.
June. You see these people coming out here for your birthday? Huh? You see these people coming out here? Every day is something different and something new with him. Monday he will be 12 years old. We're celebrating his birthday today.
In April 2021, LaDavion was shot riding with his parents near the 3400 block of North Morgan Avenue in North Minneapolis in broad daylight. 6 months later, he was released from the hospital.
LaDavion was one of 3 children shot in just a span of weeks in North Minneapolis in the spring of 2021.
The 2 other children, 9-year-old Trinity Otteson Smith and 6-year-old Anaya Allen, passed away. His family is still searching for answers.
We still don't know who, what, why, how. You know, we don't know nothing. Here it is going 2 years later and we don't know nothing. It's still such a secret. It's still not being talked about. It's still not on a person conscious. After 2 years later, you see what you did. You see the outcome of what you did. You still don't have a conscience.
Right.
He got robbed of his childhood.
Right.
Still, Shari says there's so much to be thankful for.
Right.
Day to day, he goes to school. He goes to regular school. He's in 6th grade. They do speech therapy with him at school. And then he goes to PT and OT and speech therapy 3 times a week. This is a celebration, you know. Davion wasn't expected to make it, so for him to be here for his 12th birthday, God is good.
Yeah.
You know, this is nothing short of a miracle.
In Plymouth, Megan Reistad, Here 11 News.
A reward is being offered for information about whoever is responsible for the shootings of these children. Earlier this year, a night.
Wow.
And, you know, this still hits close to me, you know what I'm saying? Because this is part of the reason why I'm still in this fight. Because I'm not, and when I say Black Lives Matter, this is what we should be talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you look at I guarantee it, anybody go looks at the National Gun Violence Archives. And we have more community members that are shot, killed, and brutalized by each other, own community members, than by a paid. And not saying that police aren't fucked up, because they are. But it's something that the reason why I read that quote, because if we want unity with the police, we got to get some fucking kind of unity first in our community.
Accountability.
Right. Thank you. That you just took the words right out of my mouth.
If we gonna hold the police and everyone else accountable, we gotta also take a look at ourselves and hold ourselves accountable, because they gonna come at us.
So right, what makes
we gotta check ourselves first.
Police officer anything better than a bad community member? Because we gotta live here with these motherfuckers, while the police, they get to go back to their communities. The only thing they do is come down here and work. But we actually got to live with the people, and I want people to see, because Anaya, that's 36th and Penn, that is an area that Black Lives the Streets. We were out there all last year after these 3 shootings happened, and it wasn't even just the 3, because there was way more. That, you know, there was twins that were lost last year, unborn twins, but because they're fetuses, and that wasn't the only one, bro. There was like numerous ones. You know, we've even had it this year where these no good thugs shoot slugs at children.
What?
It's even like last night. We had a 3-year-old get grazed. 3-year-old child.
Oh my goodness.
Like, when is it ever okay to shoot a child? And I know bullets ain't got no names. They don't.
Like, this is like purposeful shit.
Right. It's not even, I won't even, it feels like it, right? And I'm going to tell you why it feels purposeful. Because I know when I was growing up, I was out in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And we did drive-bys. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have official silencers. You know, we used potatoes. We didn't have switches that can turn our Glocks into automatics and just be shooting out here. We didn't have all these military accessories. We weren't tactical like this.
Right.
So obviously something is wrong with society. I don't know if it's Call of Duty. I don't know if it's Grand Theft Auto. I'm not about to sit here and do the blame game anymore, because the blame game doesn't get us anywhere. We can blame the government. We can blame rap. We can blame movies. We can blame TV. But when the fuck are we going to blame ourselves? That's what I want to know. When are we going to look in the mirror and say, you know what? We can sit here and I can put all of my problems on Governor Walz. I can put them on the prosecutors that put me in jail. I can put them on the police that have brutalized me, or the fact that
if we really talk about breaking generational bonds and trauma, then we do have to look inward, because if nothing was working before, it's because we was doing the same thing. So guess what? Change comes when you try something different. Change comes when you face those fears and do something different. And to do that, you have to face your fears. You have to look inward. What the fuck am I doing wrong? Because I know all these motherfuckers around me are wrong. Yes, we know that. We know they're doing us fucking wrong. But what are we doing wrong to ourselves? Because we know that they have infiltrated our mind, our body, our spirit, and done everything they could to break us down. Of course, they're within us in some way. We live within this system. This system has poisoned us. Don't you think that there's something wrong with us too?
Right. And that's even what we're going to get into next. What we're going to get into next is talking about, everybody's talking about slavery is on the ballot in 5 states, right? But what they're not telling you is they're trying to get rid of that slavery clause. And what I mean, because Minnesota's tried to do it too. And what's honestly, we were so caught up in George Floyd and defunding the police that we didn't even see that they were trying to get rid of slavery in Minnesota as well in 2020. And that's the part that really frustrates me, because you got all these so-called educated ass people, right? That say they're lawyers, that want to say they have political science degrees. But why is it that we don't, if you have all these degrees, you have all this knowledge, why are we ahead? Why are we even at the same level playing field? That's because of skin color. And if people don't understand that, it's because we still to this day don't have no fucking rights. We do and we don't. They want to tote the 13th Amendment.
Freedom is in your mind.
Right.
That's the one thing to remember. And that's the one thing they don't have control over. They control and dictate everything else and make you think that you have some kind of control, and we don't.
No. It's just like we look at, and I'm only talking about Kanye to bring up this fact, is that that man is literally a billionaire. He's literally a billionaire, and now you see because he's gone out and made some statements that people don't like. He's losing all of his business contracts. He's losing his business deals. But yet he's still fighting, because at the end of the day, that's what, if I've learned anything from the great leaders who aren't here any longer, is one thing that they always taught about freedom, about being free, was being self-sustaining. Being self-sustaining. Because if you're not self-sustaining, you're not free.
Right.
You're not free. If you're getting paid by I'm not even going to say by the white man, but if you're getting paid by the oppressor, how are you free? If the oppressor is signing your check, how are you free? Because at the end of the day, that oppressor controls you. And I'm going to tell you, nonprofits and this is on everything that I love. Y'all say that you're independent, that you're self-sustaining, but when you look at your 990 forms, I don't consider getting grants from the city, who y'all say if you get paid by the city, you're a piggy.
Motherfucking piggy, yeah.
Right. So how is that no different? Because
Right.
that same mayor that you hate, you don't want in office, is allowing you to run. Is allowing you to have your lights on. These council members that you say you hate, that you want to flick off at the city council meetings.
And my people, that equates to control.
Right.
You are being controlled.
And people don't understand that. And that's what, like Soup just
and
said.
Like my brother said, yes, capitalists
Right.
destroying the world.
Because they do have control. How is it that we've had over $1 billion, and I'm just talking about Minneapolis, I'm not talking about anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, $1 billion has gone in Minneapolis. But you can't tell no change because violence is at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? And property crime, retail crime, and who's paying for it?
We're
We
paying
are.
but we're paying ourselves to kill ourselves slowly.
Right, because not everybody. I sit here and I go to these meetings, right, and I go to these protests because I don't even think a lot of people even knew that it was National Week of Protest.
I didn't.
Against stolen lives. I don't think a lot of people knew.
Really, I had no clue. I know now.
Right. So there's been events that have been going all over America. Thank you, Sue. So there's been events going on all over America, and there was one the other night here at the 3rd precinct, and I drove past it. Actually, I think it was Friday night. It was Friday night because yesterday was the dinner. So we're driving past, and I had to really be. I was astonished at the crowd size. I didn't really see a lot of people that actually live in Minneapolis. A lot of the speakers that I could see when I drove past don't live in Minneapolis. They love to speak for Minneapolis, but they don't live in Minneapolis. And that's the part that frustrates and is hurtful for me, is because the people that actually do live here and that do have to hear the gunshots every night, because our building security camera actually caught a shooting last night.
Oh,
yeah, the start of it, anyways. And what's crazy to me is that these people, everybody wants to say, and I'm against police brutality. Please understand that. But what about the community brutality? Because we live in this shit. We live in it. We have to go outside these streets like it ain't even safe. Like this building has been firebombed. Our packages have been stolen. We've had shots at us, but we're still out here fighting. And where's everybody at? Because we can't get no accountability or unity in the community. Well, whatever the fuck a community is anymore, because I don't see a community in North Minneapolis. Thank you, political prisoners. And we're all political prisoners. There's just worse political prisoners than we are, because at the end of the day, we live in a 2-party system that don't give a fuck about us.
Speaking of political prisoners, shout out to Mumia Abu-Jamal.
Yeah, speak about it.
And there will be a protest / rally for him. I believe it's the 26th at a courthouse in Philly. I will provide information in a moment in the comments for y'all to check out. Just wanted to throw that in there.
If same thing, free Larry Hoover.
Talk about it.
Free Larry. Y'all want to talk about people doing something? Free that, because he's a slave. They got that man slaved right now. So free Larry. But see, as you see it, the Minnesota Constitution references slavery, but voters may have the chance to hit delete. We didn't get a chance to hit delete. So I don't know. Honestly, I didn't even know this was in legislation or anything back in 2020. But I want people to, so I'm going to read something. Is that slavery or involuntary servitude as criminal punishment for a crime prohibited in Constitution Amendment proposed. So what I want people to understand is slavery. We have the 13th Amendment. But see, you could only still be enslaved as a punishment. Now, what they're meaning by that is, so if you take out this wording, and because it all has it, Minnesota has it in their Bill of Rights, it's in Article 1, Section 2, is that no member of this state shall be disfranchised or deprived of any of the rights or privileges secured to any citizen thereof, unless by the law of the land or the judgment of his peers. There shall be neither slavery nor involuntary servitude in the state otherwise than as punishment for a crime of which the party has been convicted. Now, what if the person is innocent and they're fighting their case?
How many men are on death row, innocent, but are sitting on death row and happen to be people of color? And how many states, yes, how many states can anyone, white, poor, rich, or otherwise, they just want to make a quick buck and they want to see a black man die, can go just apply for that job and inject poison into a black man that we all know is innocent, but the system keeps them in there and watches them die, and they make money off of this.
Oh man, they make
I just aired the other day this lecture that this guy was talking about, and he said he teaches at prisons, right to lots of people, and he said, you know, you take a black man in the hood and they ain't worth shit, you throw him in a prison and you can make at base 40,000 off of them.
Man, they make
that ain't slavery.
It's even more than that. That's what people don't understand. It's way more than 40 grand a year that the state makes for each inmate. I'm going to break it down. So, if you look at it in the state of Minnesota, they pay an inmate an average of anywhere between, there's jobs that start off at 25 cents an hour up to $2 an hour, which is the highest you can make. But now the same job that I would be doing, let's say at Walmart, or you would be doing at Walmart, they get paid damn near 20 bucks an hour out here. Now, what I'm talking about is that's factory work of where, so if people want to know how these people get phones or other things in prison so easily, it's not always somebody bringing it in. It's the fact that it's being brought in there. Because a lot of these prisons have contracts with Walmart, Target, the Costco, Sam's Club, where they get their return products.
Okay.
Right. So that's why you had a lot of MP3 players. You had the tablets. But now you're seeing a lot of phones, and people are wondering because a lot of places send their return products. They have to go somewhere. I know people didn't think they just put them in the back, put it in a new box, and no, it's gotta.
No, a lot of times they can be brand new and still packaged up, and a lot of times they took them right to the dump and disposed them.
Not always,
but a lot of them.
But a lot of these, because the Minnesota Department of, now, and this is public information.
Mhm.
So MNCOR, which is separate, it's the same entity, but just another name. So MNCOR is the one that does all the industrial work, the factory, because the state of Minnesota we do fishing hooks, and Minnesota we do balloons. So the balloons you see at the Dollar Tree, we package those. We do Minnesota license plates. Every license plate in Minnesota, beyond I think personalized, comes out of either St. Cloud, Stillwater. All the prison clothes are made inside, which they charge us an arm and a leg for, but yet the person making it only makes 50 cents an hour. So you tell me how that's not enslaved, but then when we want to call our family members, we're paying buku cash, or they're paying buku cash to accept our calls. So you tell me how that's not slavery when we don't make, the inmates don't make shit, and then they get out and they don't have shit, and then we wonder why that there's such a high re-lockup rate. We wonder why. Right.
You know what? You can't get a normal job. And even if you could, you wouldn't be it's like astronomically paid more than what you would have been working the same job for inside.
Right.
So it's a double slap in the face because you can't get the job because of, having the record, but then at the same time, you can't get it. It's ridiculous.
No, and it is ridiculous because if you sit here and look at it, I see all these fights for minimum wage to go up to $15 an hour, right? Man, that ain't even gonna be enough.
It's actually supposed to be 32.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So we are so caught up behind times and that's a lot of it. And where I agree with Purple Room Politics is he stated that with being a progressive of that, we need to progress and that we have to get rid of a lot of elderly career politicians because they are protecting an established
interest. Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Their political interest to keep going. But if I do believe, and I don't believe AOC is the answer. I think she's a great woman. I just think that she's too embedded into the system at this point. We need people that are still out here fighting and not just talking about it and being performative, because this is my problem when I say we're performative and some of these progressives, because if people don't remember, because I do this summer, Roe versus Wade, when Omar, AOC were supposedly handcuffed, but yet able to put their fists up. I ain't never been able to put my fist up in no handcuffs. I ain't never been able to do that.
It was just a photo op of it all, though, that caught me. I don't know. It was just weird.
Right. I just truly did not. If that's not performative,
right,
I don't know what else is, because they damn sure deserved at least a Woody for that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't deserve no Emmy. They deserved a Woody. That was a farce of a fucking.
Right. I don't know. Maybe they thought that was a way to activate and inspire people. But for me, it was just a way for me to say, all right, I'm done with y'all.
Right.
The first thing for me was when AOC wore that dress to the Met Gala.
Oh, God. Yeah. Eat the rich.
Yeah. Why not? No, it didn't say eat the rich. It said tax the rich. And I'm like,
Tax
no,
the
eat the rich.
Right. Because they eating us like crazy out here. If people don't understand that. And it's all over politics. And that's what hurts me the most is people want to say that we're not in. You know what? Let's take a quick commercial break and pay some bills, because I seen the lights flickering a little bit. Maybe we got to run an ad. That's us God telling us we got to run an ad. And when we get back, we're really going to get into some nitty gritty. So please share. Tag your friends because you're really going to want to hear this second half.
That's right, y'all. Be right back.
So we back. So I want to talk about unity, accountability, and community because it's not about the politics. It's about the people. And I see that in this fight, you really, I've learned one thing because for a lot of, I want people to understand this too. And I hope a lot of younger generation is listening because this is to prepare y'all for today, is to prepare you for tomorrow. You can't be in this fight and not be political.
Right.
There's no way around that. You just have to find your place in it.
Right.
And sometimes that might be Republican, sometimes that might be Democratic, but at that point, you're not for the people anymore. You have to, if you're for the people, it should never be, your vote should never, first of all, be for an establishment. It should never be for a party. It should always be what's best for you, where you live. And that's where, honestly, this state senators, U.S. senators, there should really be more, honestly, because not every area is taken care of the same. Not everybody has the same interests are the same, because why is it that Philadelphia, Minneapolis, Chicago, Detroit, some of the biggest cities have the biggest budgets, but are the worst cities to live in? But you go out to what they want to call rocks and cows or rocks and bells, whatever the hell they want to call it. It's prettier. It's more taken care of. We have maybe more tourist attractions like malls.
But those aren't anything we own. Those are simply there for the rich people or the people you're just come into our way and just where we are and just roam around and do as they please.
Right. See, and that's the one thing that we don't have no buying power.
Our home is their playground.
Right. Thank you, because every decision that they make isn't based on what's best for us. It's what's going to make the city money.
Right.
What's going to put money in their pockets. Because why isn't nobody talking about that the Black products, beauty products, are locked up at Target downtown? If y'all really want to talk about racism,
of course they justify that, people steal those items more. They don't make money. I beg to differ.
No, but I get it. But here's the thing of it is, why am I going to get mad at Robinhood for giving me a better deal than what I'm getting raped for?
Fuck capitalism, and if people steal shit from major corporations like Walmart, I
don't care.
Fuck you exactly.
Right. Because at the end of the day, they were gonna get rid of it anyways, and they didn't sell it. They weren't gonna give me the same deal, clearance deal this brother giving me.
Precisely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't understand it. I literally like just even going to the grocery store yesterday, or not the grocery store, but the store, and seeing the high priced items like TVs ain't shit no more. You could get a 75-inch for under $500. Them used to be the most expensive things in the world. Even phones are getting cheaper, but it's everything else is getting high price, Rant.
Yep.
You know, eggs gone up 33%. Bread gone up almost 40-something%. But don't nobody want to talk about that.
No.
They don't want to talk about the inflation. They don't want to talk about the price of everything has
It doesn't
gone
matter
up.
if you can't eat or don't have somewhere to sleep, so long as you have a cheap phone and a TV to watch. But where are you going to plug that
Right.
phone in and watch that TV? Where are you going to watch that TV at? How are you going to watch that TV? They don't care as long as you're buying and consuming from them, and they're continuing to make money and suck you dry of anything.
Right.
That's for the game.
It's just, I don't know, man. This shit just gives me a headache. It's, you know, we're supposed to be all fighting for the same thing, but yet argue about the most pettiest bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and this is what I wanted to talk about when I meant taking the gloves off.
Right.
Because it's weird as hell to me how people want to try to say that, and I'm speaking for myself. I'm going to keep this a little personal. Instead of generalizing it, people want to call me a bully. People want to call me an agitator, an instigator. I'm going to tell you like this.
Truth telling.
First of all, I don't personalize shit when I'm talking about anything that has to do with my community. I don't, it's not to better for me, because at the end of the day, what makes it better if I can only reap the rewards? Or if my community can't feel it, it's not a success to me. It's not a success story. I don't care about one. That's not Black excellence, because what I'm looking for is Black equality.
Yeah.
So not Black equity either. So I want everybody to have that same opportunity. I want everybody to be seen in the same light, regardless of their skin color,
right,
regardless of their religion, sexual identity, orientation. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we're all people. We're all people.
Right.
But you're not going to call me a bully. You're not going to call me an agitator, an instigator, when you don't know the whole story. When you don't know the whole story. As I'll tell you right now, a lot of this shit, I don't even really speak about people unless they either speak about me,
right,
or it has something to do with what I'm fighting for. And if you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong. So what I'm gonna say is, by taking these gloves off, is people need to mind their motherfucking business sometimes. Because if you ain't got nothing to say, if you can't say it to me, don't say it. And I'm asking people this, and again, I'm personalizing this, right? I don't give a fuck, and I'm gonna say it again, F-U-C-K, about what sometimes other people are going through, especially when it's personal. Just because me and that person does not get along, or I dislike them, or because I don't hate them. Hate's a very powerful word, and I can never hate my brother, or my sister. And what I mean by that, but I'm not gonna sit here and jump on the bandwagon because they're going through situations.
Accountability.
Right. They got to go through that shit themselves. I care about everybody. I love everybody. but there's times where you have to separate yourself and understand that that's not everybody's lane. It's not everybody's lane, because the same shit, y'all, I don't care. I don't care. Stop tagging me, sending me shit. If the person's got me blocked, I don't want to see it. Don't screenshot it and send it to me, because at the end of the day, I don't care. Because if that person really wanted my help or any of that, they got my number.
Thanks.
They know how to reach me. So I'm asking people to stop being instigators, stop being an agitator. Because I'm not out here to fight or to get into it with other community members all the time. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to fight a system. And I only want to really fight them community members when they're in the wrong.
Right.
You want to be sitting here. And what I mean by in the wrong is people that support Mayor Frey, or people that are supporting some of these council members that are always voting no on legislation to help us. Then that's what I got smoke for. I don't got smoke.
Pay attention, people.
Man, because my time is very valuable. Very valuable.
Yeah.
Everybody's time should be very valuable. We only got 24 hours in a day, and I'd like to get at least 6 hours of sleep a day.
Talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much to fight, and I don't got time to be fighting a system that is trying to oppress us and to keep us oppressed, instead of fighting community members that, even though I don't agree with them and everything, but we're fighting the same fight. We just have different routes to get there. So if y'all wanna, I don't got time for that. I don't got time for that. This is not the what is that, hip, whatever that VH1 shit. Love and hip hop. This ain't fucking none of that shit. This ain't drama. This ain't the Shade Room. This ain't World Star. This ain't academics. I don't got time for the beef shit. I don't got time for it. And honestly, none of us should. If it doesn't,
we got too much work to do.
Right. Just like my son, the general, can keep on talking about Kanye, and Tamika can keep on talking about Candace. That's all about money. It's to deflect and distract, to get away from what we're fighting for. Because why are we fighting our brothers and sisters over words or things that they see, or things that they may see differently, because they have information that maybe we don't have?
Well, people's justification is that he can incite a whole lot of violence for Nazis and white supremacists to do this, that, and the third, but they was doing that anyway. Right. And tomorrow, people are bitching and outraged about it now, but 2 weeks from now, they're not gonna remember anything about it. They won't even give a fuck, and it won't even matter. And guess what? The things that they were claiming from the Nazis doing this, that, and the third is not gonna even matter to them. So why are you so hard pressed about it now? Shut the fuck up and leave him alone.
So my thing of it is, and this is my thing of it is, because he's taking away from when my son and Tamika do this. And I'm not even talking about Kanye, right? Because he's not somebody that's out there that fights for Black lives. Maybe he does in his own way, but he's not somebody that's out there that's fighting for me, that's fighting for people in our community. He's more fighting for rich Black people to become richer and be free. You know what I'm saying? He's not talking about people like for me and you. But see, my son and them are supposed to be out here fighting for us, but I don't see them talking about Jaheim McMillan. I don't see them talking about Jalen Walker. I don't see them talking about Adam Toledo. They want to talk about George Floyd, who's got justice, not only from the courts, not only from the judicial system, from the police, because they've been paid civilly. You know what I'm saying? We're out there talking about that still, but what about all these other cases that ain't got no justice? Because all I hear is no justice, no peace. But where all I see is peace, when it comes to these politicians and these elected officials. But when it comes to the real violence out here, there is no there. When it comes to the streets, well, we're out here. Whose streets? Nah, these ain't y'all streets. Y'all don't even be out here. The people that really be out here need y'all.
For real.
It ain't there. And then this goes for elected officials. This goes for nonprofit leaders. Because today is Sunday. Everybody gonna talk about give it to God, give it to this. I'm gonna say it like this. How many more days or how many more Sundays do we got to ask God for help? How many more tithings do we have to pay before God want to help? If y'all ain't got the answer yet, y'all should already know God ain't gonna help us with this. We got to help ourselves. And then you can, at the end of the day, you can believe in a religion. You can believe in something greater than ourselves. But that believing in something greater than ourselves should be at least look like unity. It shouldn't be that you believe in something that you say is greater than us, but to hate us. That doesn't make any sense to me, because I don't believe that Islam teaches hate. I don't believe that Judaism teaches hate, or Christianity, or the book of whatever religion you're in, the book of Jehovah, whatever. I don't think any of those Bibles, any of those Qurans, anything that preaches about God, hate ain't nowhere in there.
Right.
If it is in there, it's probably in a weird, odd sense, not to hate thy brother, because anywhere in there that had to do with thy neighbor was about love. Hate is taught. It's something that is a seen behavior, is learned. So when you see the bullying going on at school, that kid probably get it from at home from his daddy, because dad was probably bullied. So now he bullies his wife, or he goes to work and is a supervisor and bullies his employees, or if he's a police officer, he comes out here and bullies the people in the streets. Because that's what we see it. There's a greater context than just racism. A whole greater context. Because it's a lot of these idiots, they'll probably fuck a black woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because they still racist.
Right. But beat the shit out of a black man. All because of something that they don't understand, or maybe they can't understand, or just don't want to understand. So I really call that Negrophobia, because they'll look at Cardi B and like, ooh, look at this, ooh. Or they'll look at Megan Thee Stallion, or they'll look at Alicia Keys, or Tiana Taylor, just any black woman, Beyonce, and be like, oh man, I would love to just rail her. So how are we gonna call somebody like that racist when they love to look at our chocolate, but when it comes to looking at
because that means that people don't actually understand what racism is. It's not it is about skin color, but it's more about power structure.
Right.
Who's at the top and who's at the bottom? It's our sense of caste system in the Western world.
I just don't. But I know I love everybody, regardless if you're gay, if you're trans, if you're Catholic, if you're Jewish, if you're white, and I dislike everybody equally too, because I'm an equal opportunist. You don't like me, I don't like you. But I ain't gonna disrespect you, because I still want you to be treated with the same respect that I'm gonna give you. Regardless of however you're going to treat me, I'm still going to treat you with respect. But if you come off bogus, then you should already know you're going to fuck around and find out.
Accountability.
Because that's what this self-sustaining and believing in prevention is all about, is protecting ourselves. It's about protecting our community. Because that's what we pay these police to do. That's what these elected officials get paid to do and don't do. But that's what Black Lives the Streets. We want to protect our community. the Leon Block wants to protect our communities.
That's right.
But
Wants to
now,
embolden our communities too.
right,
We can't embolden each other until we have education. We help understand. Do you know what I mean? And once we understand where we are, we can provide that safety that we need. We can enforce the protection that we actually need, and then go out into the world and connect with the rest of each other so we can all rise up
right.
together. But it does start with us.
It definitely does. There's got to be. I don't know how anything. I only know how things work is you have to get to the core issue. You know, everybody talks about therapy, but therapy doesn't work if you don't get to the core of the issue. Because you can keep on going to therapy, but if you don't get to the core of the issue, you're not fixing nothing.
Talk about it.
You're not fixing nothing. So it's just like with the homelessness. We can talk about it. We can throw money at it. But if we're not actually talking about a real solution, or if we're not throwing money at real solutions, then we're not doing nothing. And that, to me, isn't that what insanity is?
Yep.
If you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and
But
getting
we
the
live in
same
a system
result,
that is insane. We can't
Right.
expect to not be insane in an insane system.
right? So that's why at the end of the day, somebody asked, and I think it was even in the group chat, what did they see in them? Do they believe that there's anything that they're fighting for that they'll see? Hell no. If you
It's not about
believe that, you're insane.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because none of this will be able to feel everything that we're doing. It won't be felt for 10, 15, 20, maybe.
But honestly, you never know, because there's a lot of different things coming to head right now that masses will take advantage of. So don't
Right.
totally count it out, but definitely treat it as if like we have to keep in mind that this is for the long haul, and that our children's children will be affected by this, not necessarily us.
Facts.
But you never know. You never
Right.
know. There's just too much stuff going on right now. And we, we're always in war. America
Always.
been in a perpetual war for most of its existence.
Big facts.
Period.
Big facts. Big facts. Well, y'all already know what it is for this week. Tomorrow is Motivational Mondays. We're going to start off the week fresh, hot, and get y'all ready for the week. I just really want everybody today to think, be grateful, but to pay it forward, and to understand that there's more power, strength in numbers and unity. And how do we get there? How do we get there is what I want people to really think about, real solutions. So while we meditate through the pain and celebrate the ties that bond, liberate our people, educate our youth so we can stop the bloodshed, be the change. Win or fail, freedom or jail, heaven or hell, wish me well.
Be blessed, y'all.